Welcome to CTV News, your Canada. It is Thursday, September 4th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Parked in Ahuntsic-Cartierville today, the DocTocToc bus welcomes patients 5 years old and younger. Bringing care into communities like this means easier access to health care.
And building the trust right where they are.
Pediatrician Dr. Ahuntsic-Cartierville knows early intervention is very important.
Evaluates what are the needs for the families and makes sure to support them and to offer them the navigation that they need.
Without an appointment and not even a Medicare card, families meet a social worker and a nurse on the spot who will also follow up with patients.
Evaluate if yes or no, we have to refer and help them through the referrals.
Many of the patients are new Canadians who are not always aware of channels they need to go through to get health care. The DocTocToc team partners with local community organizations like Vimy in Ahuntsic to make sure the people who need care get it.
Les familles vulnérables, fragilisées par.
Layla Katabi says for many vulnerable families in the area, this is a lifesaver. Dr. Benkelfat says hundreds of young patients have already been helped this summer.
Excellent response, and we hope that it's going to continue.
As a non-profit, the DocTocToc bus is fueled by private funds so they can keep all children healthy and happy. Christine Long, CTV News.
It was only the second day of school at Central New Brunswick Academy, but students were already treated to an assembly. Premier Susan Holt was there to announce all 296 schools will have access to its free breakfast program. But a pay-what-you-can lunch program promised during last fall's election campaign will have to wait until next September.
We want to get it right. We don't want to blunder and trip over working out the kinks on the backs of students and teachers in the middle of a school year.
Holt says some schools need more infrastructure to make it work.
So we want to do a rollout that is smooth, that is non-disruptive, that is equitable, and that gets everybody up to the same bar.
The province was originally modeling its program after one on Prince Edward Island, while learning from Nova Scotia, which recently rolled out its own pay-what-you-can program.
So yeah, we're a little bit disappointed that lunch is going to wait around a year, but that's the reality, and we think it's worth the wait because then when we do it, there won't be as many kinks to work out.
Last year, 136 schools had access to a healthy breakfast thanks to a partnership with Feed NB. This year, all of the province's 7 school districts are included.
So most of the schools in the province were covered before. So now it's expanding in Restigouche, taking in Peninsula, Miramichi, Edmundston region. So that's where the new schools are being onboarded right now.
In February, more than $11 million was promised by the federal government to expand New Brunswick's school food programs. Today, the province committed an additional $2 million per year. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Upper Miramichi, New Brunswick.
After 40 years of racing through Toronto, the roar by the lakeshore is no more, heading north toward a whole new finish line.
Markham, start your engines. The Indy race is coming to our city.
The mayor of Markham unveiling a 5-year deal to host the fan-favorite race. On a temporary 12-turn, 3.5-kilometer track to be built between Kennedy Road, Enterprise Boulevard, Unionville GO Tracks, and Highway 407.
Markham is geared up and ready to embrace the spotlight.
Spotlight that will spur tens of millions of dollars in economic benefits, 140,000 visitors, 19,000 room nights, and 10,000 jobs.
The benefits are going to be like a tsunami, and they will keep coming every year and get stronger and stronger. And the economic impact that goes along with that is staggering.
Ontario's fastest party is on the move.
Toronto's mayor citing scheduling challenges as the reason for the detour, with the FIFA World Cup taking over Toronto next summer. Olivia Chow, though, optimistic that the Indy won't be gone for good.
Look at the numbers. How many people would actually show up, Markham? Look at just the 65 festivals that we have every year. The number of tourists. Tourists come to Toronto. They love the waterfront. They love the lakeshore.
A lakeshore that for the first time in 40 years won't be revved up next summer as Markham moves into pole position and buckles up. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
This summer has been an uphill battle for 16-year-old Peyton Chornley. A lymphoma diagnosis in late July has kept her off the ice, where she thrives during the hockey season.
It's definitely been one of the worst months of my life, I'd say.
With continued treatment, Chornley is hoping to start skating with her teammates at the Rink Hockey Academy later this month. It's her second season as a forward with the U18 squad.
I'd love to go professional somewhere. That's always been a great dream of mine, especially with new teams expanding in the PWHL and, you know, the new league starting.
In the meantime, Chornley's hockey community is organizing a special season opener. A fundraiser is being held with proceeds going to Cancer Care Manitoba. It'll take place during the team's season debut on September 24th in support of Chornley. Her family says they're humbled by the response from the community.
When you look at it over those years, you never think that one of your own will be impacted by it, but when it's staring you in the face, you actually appreciate the hard work and the giving back over the years.
A ton of people have come together to make it happen, and it's just going to be really special. It's going to be a great night.
Chornley's coach and teammates say they are united behind her and will put their best skate forward on the ice.
The team's really rallied around her, and she's part of the program. She's here as often as she can be here, which lifts the spirits of the players.
She's such a strong person, and I think that's what we all know about her, is just that we know that she's going to fight harder than anyone else, and it just shows how much support we have for each other.
For now, Chornley's going to do what she can to get back on the ice.
Just skating and letting all my worries go away and stuff like that, and just being out there again is just going to feel truly amazing, so hopefully soon.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's tilted a little bit to the left, not much.
Donnie Higgins walks by this construction site frequently. At first glance, it may seem like just another bridge project, but for those who live in Kemptville, this one looks off balance.
Earlier, I had somebody complaining to me about it. I said, you know what, just don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with the bridge.
Take a closer look and you'll see what has residents talking as concerns echo around town, spreading on social media.
It does look like it does have a bit of a tilt to it, but I'm not an engineer or a construction guy, so I really couldn't say.
People were saying the bridge is crooked and it's going to sink, or it's sinking right now.
The bridge is part of a $45 million expansion project, widening part of County Road 43 from 2 lanes to 4, keeping pace with a growing community. And while it may look off, officials insist the slope is by design.
It's to help drain the bridge deck, so we don't have to put any deck drains in the bridge itself, so we can scour the water before it goes into the creek, all the storm water.
Construction started last March, but has since stalled, fueling even more speculation.
We're a small town, so speculation can run rampant, and we felt it was best at this point to explain that the pause in construction is really because of some supply chain issues. The bridge is very sound, it's built on bedrock, it's here to last.
So what might look like a bumpy start turns out is just a tilt in perception.
And the first 2 lanes of the bridge are expected to open by November, with the full project completed next fall.
Architecture students' mind to reality.
The first phase was the design, then it was the fabrication or the construction, and now we're moving into kind of evaluation of the project.
This project began in 2022. A 400-square-foot tiny home built by Collège Boréal trade students is almost complete, and people can now bid to own it. While a sale would be nice, the real victory is the education.
Our goal is really to provide hands-on experience to our students. So I think our professors are more than happy to really work together hand in hand so that our students can get the best experience that they can. Because the reality of our trade students is whether you're a carpenter, an electrician, or a plumber, you're probably going to end up working with other trades experts when you go into the workforce.
One city councillor thinks there is potential for collaboration with Collège Boréal. Back in July, council voted against Leduc's proposal for a tiny homes pilot project aimed at helping the homeless population.
I'm not going to give up on the tiny home situation. By doing nothing, you gain nothing. By trying something, you learn from your experiences, and maybe it might be successful. Our homeless need somewhere to stay.
If you're interested in purchasing this tiny house, bidding closes September 10th, and some assembly will be required. However, all of the supplies are included. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
In the world of motion pictures, George Pimentel is the king of the still picture.
This is my first photo.
And this was shot with film, and in the end, I kind of snuck on the carpet, and this was serendipity. I realized, this is what I want to do.
That was 1993.
Back then, there were 5 photographers behind a velvet rope, and I didn't even have a badge, and a security guard he saw me with a nice camera, and he had just assumed I was general media.
His father was a portrait photographer, but George caught the celebrity bug.
I didn't want to be a paparazzi in the bushes. I just wanted to capture them in their element.
It took a few years, and then it was official.
But then I got my first badge, and it changed everything. And it was in a good way. I didn't have to wait for 7 hours for Quentin Tarantino.
There's access, and then there's access. He literally is on the red carpet, and it's what gives him these unforgettable shots.
I remember Angelina Jolie popping up with Brad Pitt. It was a big deal for them to show up as a couple, and she gave me the over-the-shoulder.
Over the thousands of pictures, it can be easy to forget what you have in your archives, like this of the late Gene Hackman and his wife.
I remembered what his dog's name was, so I hollered, the name of the dog, and he gave me a big smile.
The one and only George Pimentel's photography exhibit is available at 600 King Street West during the entire time of the festival. 50 of his best photos over 32 years of a career. Andrea Case.
Over the shoulder.
CTV News.
Oh, it's the first week of classes at the University of Guelph. But students are already going head to head.
The lettuce games, which we wanted to do like a kind of like Olympic style mini game situation.
From lettuce cornhole to lettuce bowling to lettuce musical chairs.
Instead of musical chairs, it was a leaf of lettuce that you picked up from the ground.
Tossing up some serious competition.
It's a dream come true. I've always wanted to be a lettuce winner, and yeah, I'm so happy.
Obviously, the main thing that the university wants is for people, like students, to connect. And I think Lettuce Club is a big thing that allows for just bonding over lettuce.
The games bringing together students from all walks of Leaf.
I'm first year. I only came here a few days ago, and the vibes are immaculate. I mean, I am throwing lettuce at inflatable bowling pins. University's better than I thought it was going to be already.
It's been so much fun. It's been great meeting all the lettuce people. Let's go, lettuce! Lettuce!
Lettuce is green. I love green. Green's my second favorite color. Lettuce has water in it. I love water as well. I'm a water resource engineer.
Others say they see the games as a way to de-stress ahead of a busy school year.
It just seems like crazy, no pressure, fun stuff where you get to meet people and play some games that I don't think you'd ever really have another chance to play.
If you miss the lettuce festivities here at the University of Guelph, you'll be relieved to know the club holds events year-round, including another lettuce eating competition in March. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
In November, we hit $3.
Carlos Gutierrez reads through his handwritten notes of the daily cost for a pound of raw coffee. The longtime Calgary bean broker and distributor has seen the price climb steadily for years.
Brazil sneezes and the whole world gets a cold in coffee. And Brazil started feeling terrible.
Drought and frost in the world's largest producer of coffee have impacted prices globally.
We're still in a shortage of coffee, recovering from the frost and the drought. We now have a scenario where the U.S. is tariffing both Vietnam, Brazil, and now India, who's also a very large producer. What this is causing in the market is general uncertainty.
According to Statistics Canada, the average consumer price of coffee in Alberta has gone from $6.62 for 340 grams last June to $8.77 this year.
It has to be passed along. When we get hit with price increases of 50 to 100% in a matter of 6 months, this isn't something we can absorb. And it happens so quickly.
Damaged crops can take up to 2 years to recover, and this year's harvest is again expected to be lower than average.
That means that at the end of the day, if the price stays high, we're going to buy very high. And the problem is not going to be solved immediately.
It means Calgary coffee drinkers are choosing between cheaper alternatives or paying more for quality.
Well, it's almost doubled for the premium varieties like Kicking Horses or something like that. So I'm using the big chain brands kind of thing, like Superstore or Walmart.
So yeah, it has gone up, but I don't mind if it's good coffee.
Jordan Canigan, CTV News, Calgary.
After years of going for regular prostate-specific antigen tests, Kent Stewart was diagnosed with prostate cancer last year.
I was surprised, actually. I hadn't anticipated, and it was somewhat of an incidental thing, how they discovered it.
Now, he is speaking out, pushing for Saskatchewan men to learn if they could be at risk.
Take your health into your own hands. Mind your prostate.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and cancer foundations across Saskatchewan are bringing awareness to the disease.
Many people don't realize how common cancer is in general, but prostate cancer specifically for people with prostates in Saskatchewan.
1 in 8 Canadian men will face a diagnosis in their lifetime, but the probability for Saskatchewan men is even higher, seeing rates closer to 1 in 6 or 7 men. Fro says because there was limited awareness about the disease when he was diagnosed in 2011, he aspires to keep the conversation moving.
I had to go find that information, and it felt very hard to do it alone until I found the support group in Regina, which was like an oasis in a desert.
Several research projects are on the horizon at Regina's Alan Blair Cancer Center, along with comparing current treatments to other provinces and enrolling in international national trials.
Money that we raise through the Prostate Cancer Network support group and through the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month goes a long way in accomplishing that, not only present treatment, but for future treatment options.
People can show their support for the cause by wearing blue ribbons or lighting up their homes in blue all throughout September. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw.
It's a war poem that Louise Ogbenar grew up with at Remembrance Day ceremonies in Calgary. She says it was a powerful moment standing in a cemetery in France, surrounded by fallen Canadian soldiers.
And I saw his grave as well, and I was able to sing that poem as well in front of John McCrae's grave. And to us, being the next generation up on the world stage, right?
Ogbenar is a grade 12 student at Bishop O'Byrne High School and spent 10 days in France and Belgium in August visiting museums, memorials, battlefields, and cemeteries.
It was a bit tough looking at thousands of graves and thousands of names, and I connected with history so deeply. It was really touching to see history right in front of my eyes, to be in the same places where soldiers were over 100 years ago.
The Beaverbrook Vimy Prize is awarded to students 15 to 17 years old, where they spend 10 days seeing where Canadian soldiers fought in the World Wars.
And just remember how much freedom really means. Freedom is never free, and just how much the First and Second World War is important to our history, both as a nation and as an individual as well.
Mary Lou Ogbenar grew up in the Philippines and still has family there. She lost her grandfather in the Second World War.
We have a project with Louise now that, back home, we will do something for her great-grandfather and other veterans in our village, in our hamlet, who, sometimes they are forgotten.
Louise says it was difficult seeing how young the Canadian soldiers were who were buried in France and Belgium, and hopes to share what she learned in Europe with others in her class. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
This isn't your typical paleontology dig site, but last week, Justin Ironquill and his brother Tyson were digging a water line on the Papikassis Cree Nation when they came across a rock filled with shell fossils 13 feet underground.
My brother was down in the hole by himself, and he finally, after picking thousands of rocks out of there, he finally found one with some fossils in it. And I was just in the excavator, and stopped and checked it out, and sure enough, he was telling the truth.
At the Royal Saskatchewan Museum, paleontologist Ryan McKellar says the fossils likely ended up in the area due to a glacial movement, meaning the sea life embedded in this rock lived millions of years ago.
When we see fossils that are like this, we know they come from a time before even dinosaurs were on the landscape, so about 450 million years ago, or the Ordovician time period.
And McKellar says that although they're right below our feet, it's not every day that these brachiopods get visitors.
They're groups we don't get to see very often, so it adds to the collection that way, or adds to the story of Saskatchewan that way.
Ironquill says he's dug up quite a few things in his time with the Ironquill plumbing and heating, but nothing as interesting as this find.
No, nothing like this. No, I just found some nice little rocks and bones before, and not no seashells that are millions of years old, I guess.
From dirt to fossils to maybe even dinosaur bones, who knows what the crew on Pepikasi's First Nation will dig up next. Brittany Poitras, CTV News, Regina.
Before she started preparing paints to play with Kyle, Brooke Whitelaw was learning to be aware while feeding him.
I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening?
The first time they worked together, Kyle found a way to sneak a bunch of food away from her.
He's like a cheeky toddler, but he's also incredibly intelligent.
That was 3 years ago.
Oh, you're so excited!
Before Brooke and Kyle became best buddies.
You're such a good boy.
And after the raven was attacked by a dog and treated at this conservation and education center with a badly broken wing.
Normally, a bird would not have a good quality of life without a wing.
But Robin Radcliffe, the director of the Raptor Center, says Kyle's personality was proving to be anything but normal.
He was running around, jumping on people's shoulders, sitting in our lap.
So, after much thought, they decided, instead of euthanization, to try amputation.
It was amazing how quickly he adapted to it.
And when he wasn't wanting to play with Lego, Kyle was stealing sandals from visiting children's feet so he could use them as toys.
We started trying to brainstorm some activities that we could do with him.
The first thing they taught Kyle was recycling.
And our message there was, if a one-winged raven can recycle, so can all of us.
But if that one-winged raven is also fueled by overcoming challenges and mastering skills, you need to keep teaching him something new.
They are considered to have about the intelligence of a 3-year-old child, and so you definitely see that.
So they decided to cultivate Kyle's creativity.
Good job.
At first, Kyle put paint everywhere but the canvas and occasionally ripped up that sponge in frustration. But once he got it,
good.
The raven seemed to relish it.
He is very food motivated, but I also think it's rewarding for him to be able to figure something out.
And while his people appreciate the work he does,
It's a beautiful abstract painting.
they're even more inspired by how Kyle overcame adversity to excel at it.
He's so happy and he has so much fun. And
no doubt Kyle will be so excited when he finds out that the next skill they're going to teach him is soccer. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.